In recent days, millions of Americans have applied for a fourth stimulus check. However, the legislators have moved on to discuss infrastructure and various other issues. Due to this situation suffered by millions of inhabitants, different states have decided to provide cash for residents to alleviate their financial problem. At a White House event, Speaker Pelosi praised the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure bill and said future looks bright for passing stimulus spending bill next.
Please welcome Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who made today possible. I especially want to acknowledge President Biden for the glorious vision and the great commitment that he had to bring this legislation forward for the people. It is a great achievement. Thank you, Mr. President. When our nation was experiencing the depths of pandemic and economic crisis, you knew, Mr. President, that we needed not only to recover, but we had to seize the opportunity to build back better. Following your vision, Congress passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, an historic step to rebuild the infrastructure and the middle class. Your agenda is historic, transformative, and the biggest, boldest investment in our country's history. I just want to talk about the history for a moment. The very first major infrastructure investment was President Thomas Jefferson's. He tasked the Secretary of Treasury, Gallatin, for the Gallatin Project to build the infrastructure to reach into our ever-growing nation, resulting in the Erie Canal, the Cumberland Road in Maryland, and other initiatives. Then, under President Lincoln and through legislation from Congress, America launched the Transcontinental Railroad, connecting the country from coast to coast. On the 100th anniversary of the Gallatin Project, President Theodore Roosevelt established the National Park Service to preserve God's beautiful natural patrimony of our country. And then President Eisenhower, years later, established the Interstate Highway System, initially a national security initiative, but significantly connecting America for commerce and communities. And today, Mr. President, with the stroke of your pen, we will take a giant step to achieve your vision, to build America's roads, bridges, water systems, and so much more, creating good-paying union jobs, ensuring clean air and clean water, delivering better quality of life with equity, helping businesses thrive, and turbocharging our global competitiveness, connecting communities, again, through the internet, and making America safer as we protect our planet. And we do so building back better. This historic achievement was possible thanks to so many who have been acknowledged already, honors granted to all of them, to our chairs, members, and staff, who have in every step brought a depth of knowledge, commitment, and values-based leadership that is making a difference. Especially I salute in the House Transportation Infrastructure Chair, Peter DeFazio, a maestro of all things related to infrastructure and sustainability. I do want to acknowledge Mr. Clyburn, who was taking great pride, I think almost blushing, when our guest from the Carolinas was talking about broadband especially, but among other things. Thank you, Mr. Clyburn, for your leadership and all of that. May I just say and associate myself with the closing remarks of Mr. Schumer. This is a great accomplishment, and there's more to come. And so happy that hopefully this week we will be passing Build Back Better to give tax cuts to America's working families, to create millions more jobs, to lower health care costs, and all of it paid for by making everyone pay his or her own fair share. I'll close by saying last week in Glasgow at the COP26, members were met with great enthusiasm over the Build Back Better agenda, which is a show of force to the world. As the president has said, America is back. With President Biden's signature, we show America's leadership for ourselves, for the people, and to the world. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank all.
President Biden confirmed that Build Back Better bill will become reality soon. He said to the reporter, "You ask me that all the time and I give you the same answer. I've been confident since the day I stepped into office."
Thank you all so very much. We're going to make some substantial change in the Indian country. It's going to continue. Thank you all. You ask me that all the time, and I give you the same answer. I've been confident since the day I stepped in office.
What are you hoping to lower the temperature with China? You think you can lower the temperature with China tonight?
All right.
Vice President Kamala Harris said thank you, Mr. President, for historic infrastructure legislation Monday during a signing ceremony for the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
This will be a nationwide effort, the likes of which we have not seen in a generation. It will make our country more competitive, and it will deliver on our nation's and our administration's commitment to equity. Now, this bill, as significant as it is, as historic as it is part one of two: to lower costs and cut taxes for working families, to tackle the climate crisis at its core. Congress must also pass the Build Back Better Act. The work of building a more perfect union did not end with the railroad or the interstate, and it will not end now. So on this historic day, let us all continue to believe in our people, believe in our country, and believe in what we can do when we work together. Thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless America.
But Fox News and Republicans were still not interested to negotiate with Democrats. Representative Jim Jordan said President Biden's crazy economic plan is paying people not to work and will lead to higher taxes.
I have this feeling that there is no regard for taxpayer money at all in this administration. I want to ask you about the infrastructure bill. Before I get there, we're looking at the graphics, this graphic of what's in the infrastructure bill. Joe Biden's expected to sign it into law tomorrow, but your colleagues voted for it. Are they going to lose committee assignments? I mean, where is the accountability? Why would your colleagues, 13 Republicans, vote for this bill when there's not a dime in it for the border wall?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish they wouldn't have voted for it. I wish this thing wouldn't have passed, because you're right. There is simply no accountability for how we spend taxpayer dollars in the Biden administration. I mean, they're still paying people not to build the wall. They're getting ready to pay people who illegally came into our country $450,000. And then, of course, we have all the reckless spending that's led to the record inflation. I tell people the real consequences are for American families. You want to buy a home, it's going to cost more. You want to rent an apartment, it's going to cost more. To put food on the table, it costs more. To put gas in your car, it costs more. A Thanksgiving turkey and Christmas presents are going to cost more because of their crazy economic plan. Their economic plan is really, lock down the economy, spend like crazy, pay people not to work. And the bill that's coming next week, the so-called Build Back Better, they're getting ready to raise your taxes. So for all the people who have been working, you're now going to get a tax increase. Such a deal from the Democrats, but it's just craziness. And why we would have folks go along with that, I don't know. But